Hi guys, and welcome back to Pass and Move. And for today's episode, we've got one hell of a game for you here today, with ourselves, AC Milan, playing against Inter. So it's a derby, going to be hopefully going to be a crazy game. As you can tell from here, two previous meetings with Inter Milan have ended poorly. We're hoping to end that streak, because a win is very crucial today, can send us up to third position and back into the Champions League spots. So as you can tell from the table, it's looking kind of unusual, to be honest. You got Fiorentina there in the relegation zone. Lazio not doing too poorly, but you got the likes of Pescara all the way up here, 10 games after. I mean, obviously they're eventually going to drop points, or at least you'd expect so. But yeah, Napoli leading the table, Juventus not dominating as much, I suppose. Picking up one too many draws, maybe. Roma doing much better than last season, where I think they were fighting relegation zone. Let's have a look where they ended up last season. I've forgotten. Yeah, they eventually climbed up to 10th, but very much started in a similar way to how Fiorentina are now. So they finished last season 4th. They beat us to 4th, and this season in the relegation zone. Look, maybe they can't deal with playing Champions League football midweek as well, but who knows. Anyways, point is we need all 3 points to jump ahead of our rivals, as well as to get into Champions League spots, which is the aim, or the board's aim for this season, and maybe it can potentially, kind of secure our position there. If we drop any points, we could see ourselves drop out of the Europa League zone position itself, and so we really can't afford anything less than a win. But very intense Serie A season so far. 9 games played, and we're going to play our 10th one today. But so far, not looking too poorly. So we showed you that last game, which I think was against Lazio, if I'm not mistaken. Was it against Lazio? It was, yeah. We got the winner in the 83rd minute. Yeah, what's wrong with me? We managed to beat Maribor 6-1. Very convincing Europa League victory, and puts us in a good position. You can have a look at the table here. We are top of the table, should be, and nice little goal difference there, 13 plus 13. So just one more game and we should be able to qualify for the next stage. Against Salernitana, we also managed to win 5-1 with Andre Silva, Bonaventura, Suso and Bacca all on the score sheet. Tula scoring own goal for us as well, and unfortunately we couldn't keep the clean sheet, but big win. So that was nice to get all 3 points there. Away from home against Pescara, normally you'd say it's a must win, and in truth we should have won, but given how Pescara have been performing this season, it's a bit more of an acceptable draw. And of course we were away from home as well, so that's always taken into account. But nonetheless, disappointing. We managed to go into, score within the first minute. They hit back 3 minutes later. Actually, they even went 2-1 up before half time. Bonaventura, though, after screaming at my players, he managed to grab a second, so it was 2-2. Hakan scored the 3-2, and I really should have shut up shop, given how they already scored against us twice, and we were looking rather, questionable defending, I suppose you could say. So I did actually go on counter, but it was a bit too late, because when I went on counter, the game didn't accept it or confirm the change until after this bit of play happened, where Marin scored the equaliser in the 83rd minute. I went into overload. We had a couple of chances. In truth, it's a game that we really should have won, just based on purely on the analysis of how many clear-cut chances we had. So I think Pescara had a fair few as well, because they played well. So 3 clear-cut chances. We had 4 and 5 half chances. So the truth is, we should have at least been, 5 goals up, to say the least. But either way, this can happen sometimes, and we just kind of have to deal with it. So a decent point in the end, but doesn't set us up well for the Inter game. So I think we can just go ahead and get into it and try and pick up all 3 points for the fixture of November. All right. So a couple of players missing. Bonucci's suspended, unfortunately. He's, it would have been nice to have him for today's game. That's a very important one, of course. Herrera still injured with that 2 to 5 weeks hip injury, but pretty much a fully fit squad otherwise, so it's not too bad. We're going to be going with Calabria in the right back spot. Conti disappointed me in the last game, so he's going to be dropped to the bench. And maybe Calabria can prove his worth. Matteo comes in for Bonucci, of course, but very capable, backup. A 4-star rating kind of explains it. He should definitely not be a rotational player in any other squad in the world, but we've just got Bonucci and Alessio, and we have to try and trust that partnership and hope that it becomes better than ever. Alessio, of course, one of the wonder kids in the game, I suppose. We've got a left back, Ricardo Rodriguez, whose defending is occasionally questionable, but his attacking output makes up for it. We've got him on a support role anyway, so you know he should still do a decent job for us. We've got Lucas and Kessie in midfield as always. First choice options there. We've got Suso, Bonaventura, Silva, and Bacca. Pretty much a full team of first team players, other than Calabria and Matteo. So again, we go into this on the back of not really great, on the back of a game that wasn't too good, but in terms of our players, one that should be, or players that should be enough to beat Inter. And we're at home, so pressure's on us to actually pick up all 3 points, of course. I think, you know, at home it's always a different story, isn't it? But yeah, Inter playing with a very interesting 4-3-3 formation, the direct one. It's a game that, it's a formation that the game seems to love, and it's almost impossible for you to fail using this tactic. So if you're ever looking for a surefire tactic, you can definitely go for the 4-3-3. It's a very interesting one, very fun one. I won the World Cup with England using the 4-3-3 formation, so that kind of tells the story as is. It's a bit of a game hack, I suppose, if you want, but it's a bit of a cheap one, I suppose, as well, if you just want guaranteed results. But yeah, you know, it's all everyone to themselves really. But Inter forcing some players in here. I wouldn't say Perisic is a natural striker, but he's definitely got the attributes to be one. Reckon we'd see him on the shoulders of our defenders, but it looks like he's playing a bit of a support role compared to the other two here. Gabriel Barbosa as well is not really much of a striker. Eder, I think, is the only natural one, and even then he's more of a winger, isn't he? So hopefully we can take advantage of these players being a bit out of position, and maybe take advantage of the flanks where they've got lone wide men, and that's kind of it. They're going to be packing out the midfield, I suppose. We've got a nice little front four of our own that should definitely cause some damage. They're not playing a defensive midfielder either, so we'll try and take advantage of that. But I think I want to change my tactics and start on a counter just to see how we deal with the threat of 3 strikers. My defenders, or my shape as well as my defenders in general, are kind of shaky occasionally, the fullback positions in particular. So playing against 3 strikers is bad enough as is, so we might switch it to counter and see whether that can, just to see how the game starts off, and then we can go into control if need be. But yeah, I would expect us to be favourites. The game doesn't think we are, but I'm going to go for the team talk of revenge. That's definitely the one to go for. We've lost the 2 meetings against them. We can't afford to start the first meeting of this season with them on a loss as well. So open to end that little run that Inter are having against us. So let's go on replays. Inter getting things going, of course. They're the blue, we're the red. That's what everyone should know, and I think we're good to go. Right, nice early little tackle from Suso. Hopefully that's a reflection of how the game's going to continue. We've got counter, so wingers are going to be expected to drop back as well. Eder, early header. Perisic is there and he converts. So you have to say it's very, again, questionable defending. The initial header won by Eder you can excuse, but Perisic winning it at the back post where, you know, we've got our players there. He really should be dealing with that threat better, Calabria. And for some reason my fullbacks are just absolutely horrible. But yeah, the Eder one you can excuse to some degree. Rodriguez tries to come out half-heartedly, but this one here, Calabria should do a bit better, and you'd argue the goalkeeper should do a bit better as well. It's just poor start, and not the one we had intended, and we've already, you know, started on counter, so can't go any more defensive than we already are. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see my players' reaction to this, and they look motivated and frustrated, but is that enough to actually convert anything and try and take the game to Inter or not? Another set piece for them. First header's won by Perisic again, and this time it's a shot. I mean, to be undone by 2 set pieces is ridiculous, and it's not the most difficult bits of set piece defending either. Some strange defending for sure. I mean, how do you even tell your players to deal with this? Perisic comes out from the post. Bonaventura tries to rise. It's not an ideal person to man mark Perisic, but again, Perisic isn't exactly the tallest player on the planet either. And this shot coming in, Velena, I guess it was too powerful for Donnarumma. I mean, he meets it, but just puts it into his own net, I suppose. But yeah, not ideal at all. This is not good for us. But yeah, I guess finally we're on the ball here, so let's see what we can do. Calabria will definitely want to make amends. Kessie's there. Is he going to take a long range shot? Probably. It's a stupid one, but thankfully Cancelo manages to get us a corner kick out of it, and let's see if we can cause some damage from our own set piece. Got a bunch of players in the box, he just has to find someone. Musacchio rises, Romanelli at the far post. It's a game of set pieces now. 2-1. Can we hit them on another set piece again? This one's a nice little well-worked one as well. Rodriguez delivers it well. Musacchio rises. He could have gone for the header himself, but Romanelli's there. It's the two centre-backs working together to grab a goal and keep us in the tie, because it was starting to run away from us there for a moment. Anyways, defensively and attacking wise, we haven't really seen too much, so I can't tell whether we should go into control or not. Everything that's been shown so far has been set pieces, but so far it looks like we're dealing with Inter's threat relatively well. We're going to have a look now as well. Cancelo's there, or Cancelo. Take the player on, stop the cross well. Bonaventura's there, and now we just have to try and get ourselves going. Suso takes the man on. It's a poor ball, but he has another opportunity and does sign Silva this time. Can Silva find the cross though? Baka's there at the far post. He cuts inside. Baka's there. Oh, hits it right into the defender. It's a decent block, but you'd argue that Baka should do a little bit better there. Anyways, continues. Inter with the ball. Eder. Look at how the front three work. You get the midfielders forward as well. Gabriel was there. And I thought he was offside. Thankfully he was. But if he wasn't, he should have done better there in truth. Silva, can he win the header? Can't, but the second ball's there. Alessio wins it well and Bonaventura can collect. What can you do here? Baka comes in. Through ball to Silva. Can he finish? Oh, that should be 2-2, but it's not. And I think counter's working well for us, but we do have to encourage my players to try and pass into space and you know, run at defenders and all that sort of business a bit more. We'll take that all day. I think counter's working well because of that front three. If we went on control, we'd probably be exploited week in, week out, or every other minute basically, not week in, week out. We don't play it into every week, as interesting as that be. Baka is out wide for the ball. Tries to cross, but it's a poor one. Kessie can head down to Lucas though. Just needs to spread the play. Takes a while, but eventually reaches Calabria. Tries the early cross. Bonaventura's there. Suso. And I think there was a hint of an offside there, but apparently it's going to be counted, so I'll take that all day. And it's 2-2. We've worked our way back into the game after that poor early start. 10 minutes we were down 2-0, and we've recovered and scored twice in 15 minutes ourselves. Good header from Kessie. And Lucas took a bit too long to play the ball here. Calabria also took a little while to make that run, but eventually he does. Nice early delivery like we asked him to. Bonaventura can head it down, and Suso's at the far post to convert. So good play all round. We just have to keep it up to actually turn this draw into a win. Rodriguez with the throw in. Look at how Inter are all over the pitch. Baka, good pressure and loses out, but Kessie's there to pick up the pieces. Plays to Silva, wins the ball well as well. That's exactly what we need from our complete forward. Suso back to Silva. Baka's free. Can he finish? Just need him to convert. He goes to Suso instead. Always a worse angle for Suso, and Baka should have taken a shot on himself. I think we definitely need to encourage my players to pass the space, hit early crosses and run the defense a bit more. I think they've shown tiny hints of not really wanting to risk the pass for some reason. At the same time, Inter are clearly pressing my players down at every opportunity, so if we pass the ball in behind them, that's the way to counteract their pressing. Nice little through ball to Silva. There's two strikers, really one of them should finish. Decent shot from Silva, was looked in the direction of the goal, but if he just kept it down, that would have been 3-2. There's the kind of half chances we always create, but we fail to convert. My players, even if I tell them to run at defense and I tell them to, you know, really get as forward as possible, even work the ball into the box, because of how direct we play, they just tend to take long shots a lot more. Of course, the roles that we have as well, inside forwards and complete forwards, as well as box-to-box midfielders, they all tend to take long-range shots, you know, and of course some of them actually have the player traits. Nice little spread from Silva to Bonaventura. Cuts back inside, tries to play a through ball, but it's a poor one. Calabria can collect, but can he find anyone? Through ball to Suso. We need a nice little delivery. We keep working our way back instead. And it looks like Inter are doing well to sort of manage us a little bit. Keeping their front three there, so they can always hit us on the counter, but they don't seem too keen on it. Back at the far post, headed down to Kessie. Bonaventura's there. Oh, he could have almost converted a very tight angle. He tried to squeeze it in, but he needed to be a bit more accurate. And we've certainly grown into the game a lot more. Inter struggling to deal with us now. Our shots are going up, our on targets going up, everything's going up. Even our fouls count for that point. Possession's not too great, but I never cared about that. We could. It's a tiny bit in Inter's favour, which I guess you'd always expect with them dominating the midfield with a midfield 3, and we've got midfield 2. But yeah, head into halftime 2-2. This game's far from over, and I think certainly signs of encouragement in terms of how we reacted to the goal. I think we have been the better team, so I'm going to go with that team talk, try and encourage my players. We weren't favourites for the game for some strange reason in terms of the match odds. I thought we would be because we are at home and we've played decently all season long. I know it's only been 9 games, but still. And yeah, I mean, I guess they just expected Inter to do better, and they look to try and do that now. But Lucas has dealt with that threat well. I have to say, we're dealing with a front 3. Inter's front 3 quite good. Both the goals have been from set pieces, remember, so we haven't been outdone tactically, but they're going to try and do that here now. Inter, Perisic is there to collect from outside the box. We'll let him take that shot all day long. I think their front 3 are struggling to do anything either. I mean, I think we've locked them down quite well, but at the same time, they do look uncomfortable. Alessio rises. Silva hardly tried to win that, and Gabriel can try and get his team going. He's got 2 strikers ahead of him, but Lucas done incredibly well. I mean, if his rating's not like at least a 7, then I'm going to be surprised. Calabria doing the run at defense tactic that we've asked him. Silva through ball to Bacca. He's free. Crazy good tackle, but Bonaventura at the far post. I tried to squeeze it in. The game was a bit weird there. It's like the goalkeeper didn't want to come back and my players didn't want to run for the ball either, but Bonaventura eventually made the decision to run out for it. Now can we score from this set piece like we did earlier? Lucas with the delivery this time though. It's a poor one, and maybe we should leave it to Rodriguez taking it. Kessie's there. Now we just have to try and build again. The highlight continues. No, it doesn't. Alessio is there though. As you can see, it's always my fullbacks for some reason. Rodriguez not enjoying himself today. I think he got an assist though, and again from the set piece we struggle, but this time Donnarumma can save. But yeah, Rodriguez, did he not get an assist from a... Oh no, he didn't. He delivered the cross. It was more of a clear-cut chance. Anyways, Sousa with the ball. Squares it to Kessie, forward to Bacca, through to Bonaventura. Can you find him at the far post? Silva's there. Oh, that's a hell of a save from Handovic. I think Sousa's offside. He's not. Continues. And we should be converting those type of chances. And again, we come at Inter. Lucas to Calabria. Early cross in. Bonaventura at the far post. Oh, he's missed it. I thought he got it into the other side of the goal, but he couldn't keep it down. We're seriously testing Inter at this point. I think we've played quite well. But unless we start to seriously convert some chances, some players are going to see themselves come off the pitch. Bonaventura is one of them. That's what we're going to do now. Alright, Bonaventura, sorry. We're going to bring on Hakan. Come on, Hakan, prove something for me. Frank on a yellow. And a little bit tired. We don't have Ander Herrera, unfortunately, so we're going to bring on Locatelli instead and switch him to roaming playmaker. Lucas just on a 6.8. I'd argue he's done better, but maybe it's just the highlights that make it look like that. Soon we'll ask my players to run from position, but I'm not a fan of that. In general I am, but be more expressive and roam from positions is my kind of thing. But given how they're playing 3 strikers, we have to keep an eye on that all day long. Locatelli spreads it well to Suso. Plays it to his fullback, Calabria. What can he do here? Tries to take the man on himself, and he does well there. Beats Dalbert. Can he deliver the early ball into the back post? He tries. Bacca's there, and there you go. That's the goal we've been trying to look for all game long, and it's finally come. And it's Bacca who missed the chances earlier. It's our top goal scorer. Got his 10th goal of the season, not just the Serie A, of course, I think at least. But he's come alive, and Bacca, even when he performs poorly in the first half, he tends to do better in the second half for some strange reason. Camera's shaking a bit weirdly here, but either way, one hell of a cross from Calabria. Bacca beats his man and gets a cross in, and this time their goalkeeper Hankovic can't do anything. Either way, now we just have to keep up our defending. The more Inter come at us, the better it suits us. You know, they're already playing a very attacking formation, so it's kind of difficult to imagine how they can get even more attacking, but dealt with their threat well tactically all game long. I think playing on the counter was a good thing to do. The inside forwards, inside forwards in general tend to not be defensive and track the fullbacks, but on counter they'll do it a hint more than they would on control, of course. And again, you know, sometimes just looking at the match odds is a simple way of knowing how you should set up tactically. If you're not favourites, going on counter should be a good way of dealing with your opponent's threat. You can always go more attacking. But if you start attacking and concede early, then what can you do from there? Suso loses out. Dalbert's trying to make amends. Pinamonti. Oh, he's found one hell of a through ball to Eder. Can we deal with it here, though? Donnarumma, what a save. That is poor defending all round. You have to question where my defenders were, because he shouldn't have been free. The highlight continues, though. Bacca tries to win it. Decent enough, I guess. Vilhena. Pinamonti's doing bits with us right now. It's the first time, I think, all game where we've been found out tactically in terms of just open play. Lucas forward to Bacca. It's continuing here. Hakan. Through ball to Bacca. Is it on? Oh, it's on. He didn't play it, though. Did I sub them on the 60th minute? Yeah, I did. Alright, let's look to make one more change. And it's Suso's tired. As good a game he's had. I'd rather take off Lucas, but we don't have any central midfielders for him. So we might have to go with Suso, give him a rest for the next game, and bring on a fresh face in Barini, who can hopefully maybe grab us a fourth so that we can rest on this a bit easier. Oh, that's a nice little ball from Alessio, playing as a central defender. Actually, not even a ball-playing defender, but he's got that attribute. Bacca, can he find his teammate? He does. Silva's there. Oh my god, these players are killing me. You know what? If they were fullbacks taking those shots, I would understand. But these are my strikers missing clear-cut chances, at least 4 of them a game or something. Stupid, though. Miranda, is he going to pick up a red for some weird reason? Not sure why I'd show the highlight other than that. Unless we're going to score from the set piece now. Oh, it's a red. He did get sent off. Caught throwing an elbow, a shocking act of violent conduct. That's what the commentary says, but that works in our favour. And no real need to stay on counter, but I'm still wary of Inter a little bit, so I'm going to keep it as is. This worked for us all game, no need to change it. And you'd say even with a man down, Inter are still going to try and be more attacking to try and equalize this game. And here they come at us again. Perisic playing from the left wing now. You'd say they definitely switched their formation. Long range shot from Vecino. And wouldn't surprise me if Inter keep taking shots like that now that they're a man down. But Miranda doing us a big favour. The highlight continues again. Silva rises. Can he win it for Bacca? No, he can't. Just ahead of Locatelli. Pinamonti again trying to come at us. He's beaten Locatelli. He's going to go out wide to deliver. Perisic is there. Can we win the header though? Oh, that is poor, and the goalkeeper should do better as well. That is an absolutely stupid goal to concede. And considering how we had our chances earlier, they're going to hold out now, Inter, for sure. That's so stupid. Silva didn't win it, that's fine. You know, sometimes you win it, sometimes you don't. Locatelli should have done better against Pinamonti. Look, it just beats him. Goes out wide again. Rodriguez should be stopping in the cross. Look at this back post. I mean, he's only got one person to man mark. No one else in the box. Can't win the header, okay, fine, you know, Calabria's terrible, whatever. Donnarumma here. Oh, I guess it is a bit well placed, but that was just stupid. Absolutely stupid goal to concede. Playing a weird formation, and I'm very tempted to go into overload. 10 minutes left, please don't make me go into overload and get us caught on the counter. Getting caught on the counter now, as is now. No, Locatelli, don't be stupid, he's going to be stupid, I know it. Oh, it's actually decent ball, I guess, I can't. Not going to get the cross in though, not from there. Well, it was always going to be closed down. Lucas though, come on, Lucas. Calabria, through ball to Suso maybe? Yeah. Oh, Barini, sorry. Takes the shot instead of finding someone at the far post. What an idiot. Right. Sorry guys. I know we're going to get caught on the counter. I'm so sure of it, but we have no other option than to do this right here. I'm going to keep it as is, just in case, in terms of our formation, but 5 minutes to go. I'm going to switch our formation up again. Give me a highlight before that, please, and please make it in our favour. Oh, such a simple through ball. Pinamonti again, and he's going to find him, isn't he? Oh, Donnarumma's dealt with it. Okay, come on, we've got players there. Hello, Donnarumma. Do you want to play it finally? Bacca, can you win it? Oh, come on. Hakan was free. Rodriguez, though. Hakan. Bacca's free. Just through ball. That's a wrong choice. Bastoni to Valero and Inter come again. Look at this. They're still keeping 2 strikers up somehow. Rodriguez, just clear it for God's sake. I don't even care. Good ball from Donnarumma, though. Borini through to Silva. Is he onside? Can he find back at the far post? Goes for himself. And I honestly don't know what to do about these players finishing anymore. Alright, that's it. As defensively unusual we've looked, I have no choice now but to do this and hope, beyond hope, we will somehow survive. I need to go into fluid as well. I forgot to do it. Before we make the change though, there's gonna be another highlight. Nope. Oh, there is a highlight now. Okay, let's watch this. I'm gonna go into fluid team shape though if we don't score now. Locatelli, don't take the long range shot. Please God. Borini. Oh, that's a stupid ball. Pinamonti again gonna cause us trouble. Look at how they break. And look how easily Alessio was beaten there. He's got the pace to make amends for it, but the cross comes in. Donnarumma again. Look at our players. We should be finding this front four. It's absolutely disgusting that we can't do that. Borini's never going to win that, and Vecino has it. Look at Inter. They're trying to go for it themselves. Dalbert. Come on, don't tell me we concede. We deserve the win, but Villena's trying to change it. Alessio, good tackle. Dalbert to Perisic. Rodriguez deals with it initially, but he's going out for the ball unusually, and he's leaving out positions. Perisic makes most of it. Donnarumma should hold that, but he doesn't, and Borini can try and get us on our own counter. Silva. Oh, God, this is so stupid. Can't believe if we don't come away with all 3 points, my players are absolute idiots. The strikers in particular. Locatelli, long range shot of course, but Lucas is there, and another long range shot, but this time we get the corner. Can we score? Throwing everyone forward, we're doing everything we can. Just one player back. Borini at the near post. This is a really stupid cross from Rodriguez. Alessio. That's the end of that. 5 minutes injury time. Drawing with Inter's 10 men. Conceding to Inter's 10 men. Look at how they keep their players forward though. They're definitely going for it themselves. Locatelli, Hakan. It's all gung-ho now. Baka. Lose first touch, but it's okay. Locatelli's there. Silva, can he find him again? Oh, he doesn't. He loses out on his thumb on the counter. No. Matteo just lobs it forward. Lucas doing everything. Locatelli don't shoot. Hakan. Borini. Oh, that's actually a decent shot, but there are plenty of players to cross to if he wanted to. And this time, it's Lucas who should be crossing, but Hakan takes it instead. It's a poor ball. Maybe Lucas should have taken it. Rodriguez to Hakan, maybe? Nope. Square to Locatelli. Spread it to Borini. He's onside. Oh, he's offside. Alright. That went on for a bit. Come on, boys. Locatelli through to Silva. We just need one good cross and one good finish, but it's neither from Silva. Cannot believe my players. A million highlights in these last 5 minutes because of how gung-ho it is, but no one is finishing. Don't tell me to do it now. Perisic against Rodriguez. Tries to play the through ball, but it didn't work this time. But again, he finds Pinamonti. It's caused us all sorts of troubles, but he's not going to cause us trouble with that type of shot. I mean, if you just look at these players finishing, Silva and Baka are like 17 out of 20 finishing. And they take some stupid shots like that. I mean, they've got composure. It's not like they have no composure. Khan trying to play the through ball twice there. Stupidly couldn't find anyone though. Pinamonti's trying to hold things up for his team. Doing everything we can to win the ball back early, but instead Pinamonti's free. Closed down well though. Not well enough. Send him back, but still Inter have possession. They're holding onto the ball well. Perisic cuts inside. Pinamonti's found. Through to Perisic, or at least he's tried. Rodriguez just has to be a bit smart here. Can he find Hakan? Needs a better ball than that. Hakan's not even trying to win that one. Valero, Rodriguez down, nope. Silva instead, again not trying to win it. My players, because we're on overload, they're not trying to drop at all. But they're not going to be found with this type of passing. The highlight continues, 10 seconds left to the game. Don't tell me it's Inter who worked their way in. Pinamonti, Alessio, but it's only again to another Inter man. And we can't even clear the ball right. 3-3. That's definitely one hell of a game for the neutrals, but in terms of us, we should definitely be disappointed with that draw. Should have gotten all 3 points. Overall, it's not a terrible result, but the way the game's gone, we should have gotten all 3 points. Look at that, 6 clear-cut chances to their 1, 5 hard chances to their 3, and we've somehow scored 3 goals one of which was a set piece, by the way, so not necessarily a clear-cut chance. He's somehow drawn with Inter. Absolute stupidity from my players, and especially because Inter are a man down. But because we're not favourites, I have to just say it's unlucky. As much as I'd want to scream at my players, it's not the ideal thing to do. FM doesn't make sense sometimes. But yeah, we'll have a look at what fixtures are going to be the most important one for December. You know, I'm not going to show you any other November games, of course, so we'll have a quick look at it and see whether there's anything that stands out. Alright then. So, all of these we're not going to show. We've got Spal, Chievo, Fiorentina, Juventus is probably the back-to-back ones, and maybe even Juve, Roma is probably more tempting. Those are definitely the fixtures for December, and since Fiorentina are in the relegation zone, doesn't seem to make too much sense to show them. So I think that's when we will be back. Juve and Roma, definitely two huge games and could define our season. But yeah, I think that's all for today's episode. So if you did enjoy it, of course, please hit the like button and subscribe for more Daily Football Manager 2018 content. Of course, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And again, guys, thank you all very much for watching.